Hello and welcome everyone to the start of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Winter League playoffs. And we have our first matchup here between betastrep, dk9146, Vennicus, and Scarletshadoww. I am Aaron to you too, and I think I'm solo today. Do I have anyone with me? Oh, there's no one to respond. Well, hey, hello everybody. And what we are in for today is random percent, but with a little twist. Each player was given 2 flags to vote to turn on or off. And as a result of everyone putting in their votes, we have 5 flags as a result. We had a few votes, 2 countered each other, and 1 person voted for the same flag twice. But so we will be seeing all of our alternate win conditions are turned off. No Three's Company, no Cursed Princess. Also, Sharlock will not be open. We will have to get all 3 key items. And on top of that, random spell learning and random chest locations are off. So enjoy the vanilla spells, and which means, hurt more at 19. And then, hey, it looks like we have invisible NPCs and invisible hero. That should be wonderful. So the beginning of this is going to be a discovery for me, the same as you. We do have shuffled chest, or excuse me, we might have shuffled chest locations on, even though we have random chest rewards off. So that means 100% we are going to have armor in Hawksness. The token is going to be on the overworld, and the flute will be in coal. And here we go. Starting items will be gold, torch, and we'll see if the other one is key or not here in just a moment. And it is gold, so keys are turned off for this race as well. So it's great. It's just a bunch of emptiness. This is, you think anytime you see an unusual flag, it's going to favor the veteran players, but you never know. We don't want to raid too much. But yes, we're going directly into the treasury. Vennicus, I don't think did the stair hop, so he's not going to get the instant gold grind. But he could always just go back up and reignite it if he wants to. But yeah, we do not have shuffled chest locations. So if you know where the vanilla locations of all the items are, you're going to know. And that means that the sword will be in the vanilla location in Sharlock. However, we might have stair shuffle on. So we might see here in just a moment if that is the case. And it looks like our basement is swamp. And let's see, that is a ghost who is hitting very hard. So we have chaos enemies on as well. That is a fun combination because you start with just a 1 torch. So you might want to save up to possibly launch that thing at somebody. Do also want to, on behalf of DK's mom, say hi back to him, and vanilla map. But that starting location is fairly generous. 3 things that you can get to without needing too much luck. And we'll just see if the zones cooperate as well. It's looking like, did we already say that we had vanilla? I can't remember if that was one of the ones or not. No, but this looks like vanilla zones as well. And there's the Drakey with a whopping 24 experience, but it goes down, and this next level is a decent amount of strength. And of course, oh, that was 2 levels, so DK popped up the heal spell as well. Now finding a Goldman in here. Now mentioning vanilla zones, we don't know for sure, but it's very likely. However, your starting zones are still random in chaos. So Beta throwing the torch at the red dragon, killing it for 49 experience. Going to feel pretty good about that use of time, and we'll see if he tries to bolt to a town now. The extra agility you get just from not being level 1 can be enough to get you somewhere, but he also might jump back into the castle, and because he got quite a bit of MP there, and has the heal spell and the hurt spell now, but no, he's going to move. You can get a gold grind pretty quickly going in this, any cave you go into. Although, there won't be any real reason to dive Mountain Cave in this one. If I recall right, Mountain Cave has the Fighter's Ring and the Death Necklace, maybe, and that's it. So thanks to our players picking the flags they did, we learned quite a few things. And it looks like, yeah, Summer Sale is tri-stated, and it's always going to wind up that way. But we do have, it looks like, random shop items and not random prices. So it's going to be just a little easier than normal. And did DK check? No, I don't think he even checked for the flute. I think he knows better. And he'll worry about that when he has to worry about that. But with Chaos enemies, the Golem is particularly not interesting. So, oh, he did? Wow, that's weird. Because again, in this flag set... Oh, wait, no. Actually, if we have vanilla zones... which, I don't know, actually doesn't look likely now, considering he's fighting... Yeah, so I don't think that actually is the case. It just seemed like it because we got Ghost and Magician in the basement. If it was, then that flute would be, the Golem would be guaranteed as the last enemy before Sharlock, and then the flute would be interesting. But now, I'm just kind of surprised. Well, vanilla zones would still overwrite the Chaos enemy thing, so you could end up with really, really weak Green Dragon in Swamp Cave. But I don't know. I think vanilla zones with vanilla map will keep Demon Knights from appearing near Garenham, unless that was Zone 2, near vanilla Tantagel. So I think so. Well, yeah, and Scarletshadoww getting to a town, getting that flame sword. He's got very good gear this part of the game. He's probably... oh, he slipped past the door. So, it'll be interesting to see how often people make a mistake about where they are. And man, being in coal is just going to be scary because you won't... Like, the NPC just shows up out of nowhere to block you. And yeah, DK going with the longer name. I think he was hoping for fast text and did not get it, which is going to feel a little bad, but I don't know. And there he goes. He kills the Goldman for vanilla rewards. Okay. So we actually do have vanilla rewards on. He's getting quite a bit of money, but not a bunch of experience there. And it just so happened that the Red Dragon and stuff were just noodles, so they were made weaker. So now you're looking for, you want like an enemy like a werewolf to be very weak, so you can take it out. Like, yeah, throw out that hurt spell, and if this guy, 95 experience a pop would be amazing, but it's not working out, so... I actually thought the random zones weren't random, but no, you might be right. You probably know better than me, Tilo. And seeing a werewolf in that same zone makes sense. I think if our players, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the grind zone. Just because if we do have vanilla zones, then you're not going to see the really juicy experience until later. And we already have the Red Dragon being made into a... noodle, making its max experience 64, so it's not going to be very good. Well, my knowledge takes a few races to get caught up, and I haven't had that yet. This is the first one, so we're just winging it. But yeah, it's got to be so tempting with the enemies around. But look at that Green Dragon. It's casting Heal More after one hurt. Yeah, so the first one lands. If you get the second one to land, that's 135 experience for just about nothing. And there we go. So DK gets, I think, the first big kill of the seed. And that's in Zone 0, so that is very nice. No, see, my reward for getting eliminated was not having to do practice seeds. I am happy right now to be watching these guys do it. And Betastrep takes out the Demon Knight, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This is the zone we see everybody grinding for a while, because it is vanilla map, and you don't want to take any dumb deaths in vanilla. Yeah, but I still think that noodle for 49 experience at this point is still pretty good. And yeah, we look at the experience, the fact that we have hurt, like Scarletshadoww having that sword, if he's able to swing down a green dragon, is going to be a little bit better than what the other players have, but that's only if that's actually what happens. Now, see, the red dragon is the noodle. That's the noodle enemy in Zone 0, 100%. I don't know what other one we saw that had that. Was it the Drakey? Well, yeah, you can have more than one noodle. So it's likely that, you know, whatever noodle is the Zone 0 noodle isn't a noodle in Zone 2 or 1, and they made a different one. Yep, the rules state they'll take one enemy from Zone 0 and make it a noodle. And if that enemy isn't in 1 or 2 in those zones, they make another one. So yeah, max of 3. So we've seen 2 for sure. And yeah. Just being able to get, again, if you can get through this green dragon without having to do the double hurt, it would be great, but it looks like its defense is a little too sharp for that. The noodle and the doodle? I guess you could if you really wanted to. I'm not going to. I'll let you do it. So that's what we're going to see. We're just going to see the grind. Again, when you know you have vanilla spell learning, you're really not incentivized to do a bunch of experience or a bunch of exploration if you have a grind. Because you know that you're not getting, like, hurt more in a level or anything like that. So you might as well get the stats and have some sort of support to go along before you do that. I think that was level 8. Is this, I know we have fast experience locked on, but is it, doesn't look like it's random rewards, is it? Or random experience requirements. I think that's vanilla. No, maybe it's not. I'm trying to get my experience things back up. But, no, 245. Yeah, that could be 6. So, yeah, I think it is. And not vanilla stats. Vanilla growth has been blocked as an option, yeah. Nobody actually wants that. Like, that's something that people who watch the game want, not people who play the game. You want that once, Ziggy, and then you're going to get real bored of that, I'm sure. Scarlet and DK both drifting out of the first zone. Looks like where they are is enough for them to want to try to find something new. Again, what are you going to find? You need to find Hawksness is going to have the armor, and the sword is going to be in the vanilla location, which could be inside of Sharlock, but there is a chance 50-50 still that Stair Shuffle is on. And if that's the case, that location could be anywhere. It's still going to be in that place, but the path to it might not be in Sharlock. There we go. DK also picking up 9, and he's just a little bit behind where Scarletshadoww is, I think, right now. Or are they on... Oh, they're on different... Yeah, he's got a little bit of a lead, so we'll see. He's going through the swamp. Going to check out the cave down here. We got a town on the other side. And it is a rotated mountain cave. So that is going to be interesting. Now, there is a chance with rotation that we could have some issues, but the fact that we don't have the random chest locations on should not be a problem. Or shuffle chest locations. Those are the ones that can kind of interfere with it sometimes, but I think we're fine. And almost everyone's just sitting into the grind. Betastrep playing just a little bit behind on experience, but it's just like 2 green dragon kills away, so it's not too bad. And it looks like he might be testing Swamp Basement. Might try to walk through and see what's on the other side, rather than walking the overworld, which is interesting. Maybe he's going to check the spike, because, again, it could be possibly something easy to kill that's worth a lot. Anyway, Scarletshadoww does find Breckenary, and probably very quickly realizes that he's not going to buy anything there anyway. He's got the best he's going to buy unless he, decides to do a grind for a silver. Maybe magic armor, but I never really think that going from full plate to magic armor feels good unless you absolutely know you need to do it for some reason. And Beta walks in back doors into Garenham. So Garenham is on the second continent. It might be that top town over there. But gets to check all these chests for free. And we'll see. We have gold, herb, and doesn't check the other chests. Oh, wait, he knows what's in these things because this is vanilla chest stuff. So he must know that's a torch. He doesn't want it. And it does not appear like we have Stair Shuffle on, so DK is probably a little bit sad about that. And if he's in Mountain, the only thing I think he's going to look for is the Fighter's Ring, maybe the Death Necklace. Scarlet, however, heading over to the third location. There is the Fighter's Ring. You're here, you might as well just grab it. That makes sense. And he blows the fairy flute. Congratulations, DK. I hope your mom appreciates that. Well, the one possible negative about checking the Death Necklace is that you open yourself up to the, I think, 1 in 32 chance that the Death Necklace is a fake. But you can save and check that. In fact, that might be a thing worth doing. The next time you die, just save it, put on the Death Necklace, see what happens, and then load. Because in this scenario, it's not necessarily likely that anybody else is going to do it. So I could see that sort of advantage if you do that. Yeah, we did have one time in Random Cup where the Death Necklace was in fact not on, but somebody got the 1 in 32 of it appearing and used it, and it did not go well for them, and that might have knocked them out of the Random Cup situation because of that specifically. That 1 week was so bad. So DK on his way out, Scarletshadoww finding Rim. I don't know if he bothered to check the Wings chest or not. And no, there is nothing interesting. I think he's really hoping to find a silver, but takes the Wings and launches himself back. Does not have to do that long walk back, which is going to be a good time save for him. And yes, there's no benefit. It's just a, I don't know, you call it added difficulty or an added nuisance sort of flag. Some people like it. So it makes it easier for me to not pay attention to the players because I can't see them. So Shadow, the first one going down the southwest path and finds Hawksness. Now, if somehow this Hawksness enemy is beatable, Scarletshadoww will have the armor right off the bat. And this wizard is not an easy fight, though. And yeah, so 47 damage. You're probably going to be thinking, well, I'm going to see that guy in Sharlock. He has sleep. He hits hard. Again, he's not going to be that much weaker by the time you get there because he's already got 58 defense. So you're hoping maybe you get 30-ish more defense by the end of the game. So he might hit you for 7 to 15 plus. That's still a lot. And now he's decided that he is going to go through to the other continent, which I don't recall if Betastrep saw anything past the first town. So it might just be a quick one back. He could theoretically try for the location to the actual spike, but chaos spikes tend to just be bad, so I don't know. The one thing will be if again with a vanilla map, we'll see if our players decide to use the triangulation strats that you can use with an external map to figure out exactly where the coordinates are without the help of the princess, without counting. We know Betastrep 100% swears he will never do it, so we know he is going to have to catch the princess, but the other two, or the other three runners might not. It could be to their advantage. But also, we saw this in week 4, a whole lot of people messed up the counts. So trying to do it that way, because it's not something you do normally, and it can be pretty difficult. All right, now Scarletshadoww also going to check to see if he can find a silver shield. There's that gold grind is right there, and he seems pretty intent on trying to get it. Oh, he finds magic armor, but he can't afford it. Probably not going to go out of your way just for magic armor, especially, I mean, it's not that far to do, but... and you can also you could actually trigger the gold grind, you know, straight there, because you could just go into Garenham and get the 3 chests, die in the swamp cave, and then have a gold grind waiting for you back home. So Vennicus in Mountain and is going the wrong direction, I think, so he might be a little bit lost. Or, yeah, he went the wrong way. Well, he doesn't know about Stair Shuffle not being on yet, but now he does. So, anyway, we'll see what Scarletshadoww has here. The rim location is Grave. And a non-rotated grave, so 3 chests, real easy. He can dive it if he wants. There is that other town, which he's not going the right direction. But the, or does he not? Oh, he knows. Never mind. All you need is the harp out of this. So he's just going to beeline straight to the harp. That's a very smart move on his behalf. But we know there is a town in the north there, and I'm thinking it's probably gonna be Cantlin? I can't think, is there any other town we haven't seen other than that? You would think Cantlin would be a very high priority. But also, because Scarletshadoww does know about Hawksness, where it is, so I think he's seen every other town. The only other things we have left, I think, are Tablet and one of the trade-ins. Which means if, oh, Tablet and Stones. That's it. Those are the only 2 caves we're missing, right? So, and hey, Treasure Guard, you're right. So we will have that in Stones Cave. And, well, I mean, Green Dragon's an easy fight. And that is one thing to remember about Treasure Guards. The Treasure Guard pool is the same. It is not changed in Chaos enemies. So the type of enemy you get could be like that for him, which a Green Dragon is not a problem. In the seed, or it could be a wizard with sleep and punching you for 40-some damage, or it could be some random other enemy that just happens to be ultra lethal. There's our first key item. Again, we know what our key item list is going to be like. We know Sword is going to be in Sharlock. We know the armor is in Hawks. And we know Sharlock is open. We don't know if it's deep or not. It does matter a little bit. It is still quicker to get to the sword location going into short Sharlock than full Sharlock. And now Shadow on his long way out of Grave. But that's a dive everyone's going to have to do. So getting that out of the way is going to feel pretty good. And now Betastrep is also hitting level 10, I believe. So all of our players are equal on experience. It's all just about exploration and gear at this point and what they do from here on out. Not surprised. Although Vennicus is still grinding a little bit. He may have taken a bad death here or there and really wants to avoid doing that again. Which might be a very smart idea, because if Stone's Cave winds up being in the vanilla Sharlock location, that is one heck of a walk. And alright, out there, Betastrep looks like he's going down the southwest path too. So he might see Hawksness before too long. We'll see if he actually tests the spike or not. Again, it's going to be a chaos spike, but sometimes there can be enemies with 255 agility and 10 strength who will run from you in one go. So I think more often than not, I would want to test those, at least the Hawks and the Spike enemy, as soon as possible. And yeah, Ghost looks like that might be a endgame enemy. And the Magic Wyvern, sending Scarlet home before he can get to Cantlin, that's going to hurt just a little bit. And Swamp is behind, so it's not the worst walk. But one thing that we can note, if he had seen a Silver Shield, there is gold in Garenham. So he could actually do that. That's actually a very good question, Tilo. If we do have vanilla zones, which it seems like we do, then the Green Dragon is underneath Tantagel, and it's a 2-swing. And that is 100. I mean, that's basically an endgame grind you're getting at level 10. That's a very good question. And you have to get to 17, so there's no reason to really push out early. Especially if you're like Scarletshadoww and you already got probably the gear you're walking into Charlock with. Or the gear you could walk into Charlock with, I should say. Anyway, so this should be an Axe Knight on Betastrep's side, if everything we understand is correct. And it is not, it is a wizard. So that might throw that other logic into a bit of confusion, unless somehow the treasure card flag overwrote the other one, but I don't think that's possible. But he does put the wizard to sleep, which is a very heads-up play for him. Gets the 120 experience and gets himself armor. So, big check mark there for Beta. As long as he can keep this wizard asleep, this is a decent grind. However, it's not going to do that, I don't think. Like, the moment it wakes up, Beta might be dead because it hits really hard. Although, the fact that he has Erdrick's armor and large shield should make it not terrible. Well, alright then. So we don't know that the Green Dragon would be guarding the princess. Again, that is mostly knowledge that Beta is going to need. And again, we'll see if the other players get it or not. Vennicus looks like he is just about full cleared this grave. No, he's still got a few more to go. He's been in here for a little while. He probably doesn't know the vanilla locations outside of the obvious ones that everyone knows, like vanilla sword location, etc. Unless he's put in that effort. It's possible, but just maybe he's full clearing it for a gold grind as well. Well, Scarletshadoww on the wizard is just swinging, no sleep strats. Again, thinking about using sleep is something that doesn't come naturally when it's against an enemy like a wizard who's normally immune. Or mostly immune. Scarletshadoww now picking up the armor, and I think we're going to see him try to push through and get the remaining stuff down here, which could be very important. Now, the ordering of this could be bad if the coordinates location makes you have to come back down here. That could be really rough. And the Poltergeist on Vennicus' side appears to be a very difficult enemy as well, hitting hard, and it took at least a 69 damage attack. It's true, I am invisible, so I am the disembodied voice for today. And now, Vennicus, did he also get the death necklace if that's the case? If that's the case, then we're probably sure it's on, yeah, because if at least 2 people get it, the odds at that, that's, well, actually, we don't talk about odds when Betastrep's racing, because we never know how that's going to go. Yeah, that would be, what, 1 in 960 or something like that? Yeah, there's no way that would happen, right? All right, betastrep doing some of what some of the other players were doing. It looks like he decided to go into mount, and I think he's going to grab the... He's like, you know what, I should get the fighter's ring and the death necklace, except he's also going the wrong way. And figures it out, so there we go, back on track. No keys. We have free access to everything, and Vennicus is doing the gold grind. I don't think we've seen a silver shield, although he probably knows where Cantlin is well. If you know where Hawksness is, and you've explored the Northeast, you should know where Cantlin is, which is kind of weird that we haven't seen that yet. Now, Scarletshadoww dies in the swamp cave. I think that was just a random encounter. Oh, yeah, I guess Beta is not worried about that. That could be a time save, especially if the hit points don't kick up into the range necessary. The one thing that the Death Necklace could do is if you do end up with a lot of hit points, it could let you skip the sword if you have the Flame Sword. We've not seen Cantlin, but we know where it is. It has to be the Vanilla South Swamp location, because we've seen that, but nobody has made it there. Scarletshadoww tried and got taken out by a very vicious Magidrakey. Or I mean a Magiwyvern, yes. One of them. Magidrakes aren't very pleasant either. But we've seen every other location, and again, we know the vanilla checks are on, so Vanilla Sword is in Vanilla Sword. Yeah, everything, you have to go all the way into the navel of Sharlock to get to it. Now, DK is going to see Hawksness for the first time. We'll see if he tests the spike too. And the last two locations are going to be Tablet, which we assume everyone will note out of immediately, and Stone's Cave, which has the stones, and probably a treasure guard, possibly a treasure guard. Treasure guards are tri-stated. So it's 50-50 for each one, the way that tri-state works. Nope, Scarletshadoww is rescuing the princess, so looks like he is no inclination of doing some sort of fancy coordinate count. We'll see if he goes to Cantlin or if he tries to leave manually. He does have to go back through the wizard, but he's made it through the wizard a couple of times now, so he's probably not too scared. Oh, he didn't fully heal up, but he is throwing out the sleeps. So he does have that in mind. And DK is grinding here in the Hawksness Zone, which the vanilla Hawksness Zone has a lot of really good enemies, and some of them are quite weak. The wizard is is probably the hardest enemy in here, and is worth a decent amount, but you know, he probably should just go to the spike if he wants to fight the wizard. And then we see it on screen, 25% sleep, 125 attack power, the 91 hit points. This is it's a pretty strong enemy. 125 makes it stronger than a red dragon. Its hit points are a little less than a red dragon. Its defense is pretty weak though, and it has no sleep resistance. So as long as you cast sleep and don't get slept in response, the wizard should be a very fun kill. Unlikely. We know that Cursed Belt and Three's Company is off because they were voted to be off. Our initial voting flags were those two. Vanilla Chest Rewards was voted on. Oh, hey, the werewolf has DL2 breath. I don't think we've seen that, have we? But yeah, Cursed Princess turned off, Three's Company's turned off, Random Spell Learning off, Random Chest Locations off, and Open Sharlock are turned off. So those were the 5 flags that made it through the process. We had one that was voted on twice. And, you know, just to I can reveal it, I think we had one person vote for Stair Shuffle on and one person vote for Stair Shuffle off. So they countered. So it went back to 50-50, but it is in fact off. Scarletshadoww almost to Cantlin. The Spectre is blocking. The Spectre is a reasonably difficult enemy, if I remember right. So this is not safe. And but no, he took. I guess it's 2 swings. That's not terrible. You might as well just do it, get it over with, rather than trying to run from that. DK back into Hawksness now. Took a straight beeline back down after the disaster before, and it looks like he still wants to grind. Again, you're gonna have to grind to 17, and I don't know, you could break into Sharlock and find, you know, go all the way down to the basement and find like the Stone Men or something are weak, but Actually, no. No, yeah, would the Sharlock zones be randomized? I can't remember if they are in Chaos or not. It's a good question, since the spikes is the Sharlock also? Because if not, you could stumble into something really good down there. Like the Blue Dragon zone, if Blue Dragons are babies, that could be good, 180 a pop, but you probably don't want to try that. Absolutely, I guess we'll see. Betastrep made it through the wizard, getting his princess. Scarletshadoww. I don't think we saw a silver shield, so I don't think that one's going to matter a whole lot. But yeah, not taking the damages, and we're going to get our first coordinates location. We do know coordinates exist. And 103 south, 76 east. So basically the coordinates are going to be in the bottom right corner. But yeah, because I think 73 east would prohibit it from being near the vanilla Cantlin location. So I think it's actually on second continent. But it looks like Scarletshadoww is doing some mathing. If that's the case, it's very easy to get to because it's just through swamp. So yeah, throw your wings, turn in your princess, go through swamp, and walk 5 steps, maybe? Or is he... Oh, he's looking for a level because he's almost at the next one. But this is still... I'm surprised he's not just bum rushing this right now. Do it, get it over with, come back later, or at least turn in the princess. The fact that he's not doing that is unusual to me. Unless he's going to the harp trade-in. If that's down here, that is something that might make a little more sense. Princesses for sprite visibility. That's a very good point. He just wants to know where he is. That's fun. And yeah, doing the harp turn-in. And yeah, if he has the other map open, this will be a very reasonable count. Honestly, once you see those coordinates, you could just start blindly searching around there and you'd eventually find it, I guess. Let's see, yeah, so if, and there could be a treasure guard down here too, on the spot that you wouldn't realize, and fight it and kill it pretty easily. Although, actually, no, you should be able to realize it if there is one. There's no guarantee that there is, though, and it looks like Scarlet is going to turn in the princess after all. So, goodbye, free visual. And DK now deciding to wallop this one just a little bit. I think he hasn't actually killed it yet. So he'll be getting the armor in just a moment. And there we go. Now Vennicus is on his way as well. As long as he actually does the thing, he'll be in pretty good shape. And DK is continuing to grind. I think he realizes he's not going to find something better than this because, I mean, you're not going to. Unless there is a reliable... Yeah, it would have to be an enemy on a spike. And the wizard is not so much better than the other enemies here that I think you want to deal with sleep, luck, and swinging 3 to 4 times. There's also no particular rush, I think, to go down here because we know where the jerk cave is, so we don't need to pick up all of our key items before here. The big question is, will Scarletshadoww wind up in the red slime? Okay, there we go. You got a little scared when the red slime blocks you. But I guess the real question will be, how far down here do you have to go? Is it going to be in this first location? Because there's no reason for anybody to go into Tablet. I don't think. Because I think Tablet's given a cursed belt in this flag set. Or in this combination of flags. Now, Vennicus is... Oh, he does not get through the wizard. Gets taken out. Probably going to see him come right back, though, I think. Unless he's a little afraid. Might be. And Betastrep doing the merchant test. And, again, finding... I got a broadsword. He's been wielding a hand axe the entire time, so that's an upgrade. If we do, and yeah, Vennicus is just going right back. If we do have to go all the way to the Cantlin location, though, there's definitely a high chance for shenanigans with some of the enemies we haven't seen. But we don't have to. Here's stones, and do we have a treasure guard? We have a treasure guard, and it's a werewolf, which ran away. All right. I was going to say, it has DL2 breath, but it also is cowardly. So at this point, Scarletshadoww has no reason to go down here, I don't think. Because we know where the jerk cave is, right? I think. Actually, I don't remember where it is. Where is the jerk cave, everyone? Let me know. Garanham. Okay, see, that's what I thought, but then I don't remember actually seeing it in my mind. So, DK unfortunately does not get through the wizard. He's taking the experience lead, really pushing hard on the grind. We'll see how much harder he goes with this. If he decides to just ride it to 16 and then try to grab everything after that. Scarletshadoww definitely has the advantage in finding things, but that advantage is... Excuse me, that stuff doesn't take too long to find, so we'll see if that matters. So Scarletshadoww going down here in a tablet cave just is kind of... I don't know. I know the token can be in that location in certain flag sets, I think, but I don't think that's this one. He's got the overworld coordinate thing. That's where the token has to be, unless he thinks that the location is over here for the search spot. That's a possibility. So we might see a Gwalen check over here. Now, Betastrep, on the other hand, had a little bit better feel about it, and we see that he has to go 6 south and 4 west. So he's going to count this one out. It's just one step below where you could possibly get a treasure guard that you would see. And there, he's got the token. So, again, probably a pretty big advantage to him just for the fact that Scarletshadoww is now out in no man's land. And no, I think he thinks he knows where he's at, and he's not. He might have written down the wrong, or might be using the Garanham location instead of the coal offset, which is something, or not coal, the vanilla stones offset. It's definitely possible. So at this point, he does not have return. He is out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't think he has any wings left. So I think he's going to try to walk around to find this, and that's not going to amount to anything. And Vennicus as well, kind of going out the same path, which we know isn't, again, he might dive tablet because he doesn't know the vanilla locations. It's a possibility. And I'm only saying that based off of the fact that he full searched mountain. It's also possible everyone forgot that swamp. He might have forgotten that swamp takes him through. But no, it looks like he's checking that location, and Scarlet is walking the long way around here. So this is going to lose a little bit of time, but it shouldn't be too terrible. Meanwhile, DK is on the cusp of finding Grave, the same as Betastrep. They get through this, they're going to get their harp pretty quickly, and then they do have outside, so getting to Cantlin theoretically won't be hard, but there's still the matter of having to get through a zone that had at least one enemy that was pretty ruthless. There is another possibility here that I wouldn't think would be a thing, but it could be. And that is, for some reason, Scarletshadoww thought that the vanilla token location might be in play. I don't think that's going to happen, because again, week 1, you've already done this sort of thing. But week 1 didn't have vanilla map, so it's possible that that was what he thought. Either way, he can grind in this zone. It's not terrible, so I don't think he'll probably just kill things until he dies and not feel super bad about it and get something out of this. So we've seen different paths through here. Betastrep went and grabbed all the chests, probably thinking gold grind. Maybe, yeah, because he's already cleared Cantlin, got the coordinates, so DK, on the other hand, is going directly for the heart, and we'll get through here faster. Again, I don't know. Getting the flame sword could be very, very important. We'll just say that. Just being able to have that, because it's, again, theoretically with the death necklace, you could possibly skip getting the vanilla sword, which will save you well over a minute at the end of the race. So doing this sort of thing could be more useful, and yeah. So DK's out, Beta is just about to get there, and we'll see if he does end up taking the Death Warp out, because he doesn't have any other reason to be over here. And Vennicus going through swamp, so he might get to these things as well. As far as the exploration goes, the fact that he didn't get the armor hurts a little bit. That's kind of the main difference. And no, Beta is out. He was not worried about a grind after all. Again, if you really want to grind, you can just go through Garenham, grab those chests, and then work back, I suppose. Yeah, the coordinates wound up being very close to the vanilla Jerk Cave location, which Betastrep got. It looked like Scarletshadoww went... He just got the directions mixed up and went near Seth Cantlin and was just disappointed in what he got down there, which wasn't much of anything. The fact that he's still, like, I think he wants a Death Warp, because, well, no, at this point he has Return, right? Is Return 13? Oh, no, he's still level 12, never mind. Oh, no worries, Jake Coper. When you're by yourself, you have no particular expectations, so I can just wing it here, I guess. I could go full meme every time somebody finds something and act like it's crazy and make up memes for everything, but I think I'll pass. And yeah, so DK has the coordinates. I believe he will definitely use a map and not use the princess to find this, so he's probably going on a beeline directly to the token. That means both Beta and DK, all they need to do is find Stone's Cave and then grind to the end. And, you know, we talked about it before, the importance of the Death Necklace. The fact that hit points are where they are at level 14, it's fairly likely that it's going to be used at 17, and where the attack power in MP I definitely think at this point we're going to see DK skip it and not even go after the sword. Of course, he's still got 3 levels to go, so that's no guarantee, but that's what it looks like at this point. Yeah, he just knows it's down here, so he's just going to search the one coordinate. And, I mean, he's going to find it in a moment. I think he has to go right one? Or no, this is right here. Yep, there it is. Writing down the coordinates. Yeah, that's the hard part of this one. But so Betastrep and Shadow both were not using a map, or... Well, I know Beta wasn't going to, because he said he wasn't going to. And it's been a pretty vocal opponent of doing it. Scarletshadoww grabbed the princess, but went to kind of the vanilla location, so it's possible that... Yeah, he knows where it is. He didn't even use Gwaelin's Love. He just thought he had to go to the vanilla location for it, so I think, maybe. I don't know. We can ask him afterward, I suppose. And I don't think there was no treasure guard on that, so Vennicus wasn't going to stumble into it. He does have the princess. If he has the map open, he should be able to do it as well, and be able to get there fairly quickly. So, yeah, Betastrep and DK just need to get to Vanilla Stone's Cave, and that's it, which... Is DK going back to grind? I would be surprised if he did that, although... Yeah, mostly because he has Return, but I guess he could just do this now. And it does seem like our best grind is here in the Hawkson's Desert. That is true. Just having the princess makes the walking around pretty nice. Except I think there's one direction where you can't see, but, you know, whatever. How often are you just walking up? And it looks like Shadow is going back through Swamp. No, he's going to the spike tile. I think he wants to grind on the Wizard, which is not a amazing enemy. It is 120 experience. That's not bad. But it has a low chance of sleep, and it hits harder than a red dragon in vanilla. So it looks like Beta is he grinding on what is in this zone that he wants to fight? Because it's not the wolf. He must be across two borders or something if he's getting a wolf and a wizard, because I don't think they're natural anywhere, which is a little surprising. But I don't know. This is an interesting grind to be doing. The fact that Scarletshadoww is grinding in Zone 0 is not terribly surprising, because there are green dragons in there. Green dragons are one of our weaker enemies. But it looks like he didn't like the odds and decided to leave. But yeah, we've seen Star Wyverns and Werewolves and Demon Knights and stuff in Zone 0, 1, 2, just over there. So, Vennicus, again, there is no Silver Shield in this seed. So, there's been a nice gold grind to get it, but outside of the beginning gold, there hasn't really been much reason to do it unless you miss something. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not just doing Forest Mountain. Like, I'm assuming Beta's doing it for a reason. Like, he understands what's going on. But it is a little odd. And that was another good level. We'll see. I don't know. If you had the plan of play odds here, DK seems like he knows where everything is going to be. At worst, he's doing this grind so he doesn't run into something terrible through Charlotte, or on the way to Vanilla Cantlin, where he probably expects the stones to be, but they're actually a little bit closer. And then it's just a matter of warping back. Again, with the Flame Sword, he is... I don't know, man. I don't think this is quite go at this point, even with the Flame Sword, and if he had just a little bit more in the ways of hit points, still doesn't quite... Yeah, to use the Death Necklace still doesn't quite feel there. But this could be the ultimate tail of the seed. Oh, I know. I'm talking about like if the stats didn't grow at all. That's always the thing in my head, is that level 17 is going to give me the full MTI level and heal more. So I just look at the stats the way they are now and assume no growth. I don't know. The more I look at it, if he was able to get a full stock of Fairy Water, which we know from Beta, at least, he threw a torch. I can't remember how much anybody else did, but really, yeah. When it comes down to, if DK wins this race, it's going to be this grind being so superior to what anybody else has been doing, just to kind of carry the weight. Now, Scarletshadoww is not too far behind betastrep in experience. Beta just needs the stone, which... Yeah, it really just comes down to if Scarletshadoww is able to find a good grind, which he looks like he's still kind of fumbling around for in these hills here with red slimes. If you're seeing red slimes, then you're probably in like a red slime, regular slime zone, and I would not want to be in that. Yeah, just to update everybody again, the votes were to have random spell learning off, random chest locations off, Open Charlock off, Cursed Princess off, and Three's Company was off. We had 2 votes either way for Stair Shuffle, so they negated each other, and then Stair Shuffle wound up being off anyway. And one of them was voted on twice. I think it was Cursed Princess, but was voted off by 2 different people or something like that. I don't know. They'll tell you if they want to tell you what their things were. Now, the zone that Scarletshadoww is sitting in now might not be terrible. I don't think it's going to be as good as DK's zone, because specifically the Magic Wyvern is a little scary, but, well, I guess no. If he's one-shotting it, it's not scary. Never mind. But, what was it? Demon Knight, Magic Wyvern, and Werewolf, I think, were here. I don't have my Vanilla Zones map papers around. I wasn't that prepared, but it seems like they could be together. Yeah, he did not one-shot the Magic Wyvern, and the Magic Wyvern hit Scarletshadoww for 70. That is not the funnest fight that you want to be taking. And yes, we do have invisible sprites, so that is one of the 50-50 flags that were set on for this week, and I just happened to roll that way. We also have invisible NPCs, which is probably more annoying, but and there we go, level 16 for DK. He definitely has Death Necklace hit points now, and let's see, the defense is a little bit low, but I don't know. Again, it just depends. We have collectively, as chat and myself, not came to a decision about what enemies we're gonna see in Charlock. I kind of forget. But at 123 AP, DK has 14 heal mores optimally. If he uses that Death Necklace, that's 123. He loads up on Fairy Water. The fight is winnable. Obviously still needs heal more, but stats-wise. And that's another very important question. DK should actually have money for that before too long. And he's had to see that there's a Flame Sword around, so he might just do that. And yeah, shoot, I didn't even realize he didn't have it. The extra 8 AP makes this a winnable thing without needing to worry about Fairy Waters. You know, Flame Sword was vanilla cost, and it's in Cole, which is the one town that's nearby start. And we saw, like, Scarletshadoww got it right away. He was able to carry the starting money there, and I think Vennicus did a grind later to get it. And that's what we've seen. But yeah, he'll have the money. He just has to not die. And when he gets the stones, he can turn in the harp. He can go buy the Flame Sword. Now, of course, is it longer to go buy the Flame Sword or to go find Erdrick's Sword in Charlock? That's an interesting question. And the one thing about this is we don't know if we have Short Charlock or not. Short Charlock doesn't really change the amount of time it takes to get to the Vanilla Sword. It's a little bit faster, but it's like the path to get it doesn't really matter. And there is one other element of this. I'm talking about being able to beat the Dragon Lord, etc. There is one other problem that arises, and the fact that you have that Death Necklace might not feel so great is that we're going to have a Chaos Dragon Lord, so we don't actually know exactly how the end of the race is going to go. We can look at where the positions are right now, but that you definitely want to be a little bit more MP and all of that going in. And, you know, maybe you throw out that Death Necklace if DO1 seems like he's pretty baby, and then, but we might not see that thing come out at all. Now, Vennicus might... He's right on the cusp, getting his armor, and finally... Now, he's grinding. He is... He's grinding in this zone, too, which, again, it's a great zone, but I would rather have the Erdrick's armor that's 2 steps to the right doing this to do a little less healing. All right, and DK balances out. I think he's just going to make the walk with whatever he has left. And I don't know. It would be interesting to see if he decides to go for Flame or not based off of that. But I think when you know what you're looking at here in Sharlock, I think you would just want to get Erdrick's Sword and not mess around with that when you have Chaos stuff. But he did grind to just past Flame Sword money, which might matter. Yes, even though we have vanilla zones on, apparently the Chaos element trumps that when it comes to the spike. That or the Treasure Guard element, but I think it's the other one, probably. Yeah, DK is going, turning his harp, and I guess the Flame Sword is right next door, so maybe he does it anyway, just because it's that close. Again, he did grind to have money just beyond the Flame Sword thing. And even though he's probably expecting to get 1,200 on the way, it just seems like likely that that's what that's about. All right, Betastrep getting all of his turn-ins, cast return. Looks like he is going through. And yeah, DK cast, he bounced back. If he wanted that Flame Sword, he would not have done that. So he's also getting his turn-ins, and we're going to see him go through as well. There is the theoretical situation where Betastrep might try the Dragon Lord not at 17. I don't know. If you had a lot more strength, that might be more appealing. He might just also go directly for the sword just to see what it looks like down there, but it's a heck of a walk. But the grind shouldn't be bad. And no, he's casting Radiant to walk through here. Maybe he's thinking Wizard. I'm surprised he wouldn't just cast outside to work through. As we have seen Beta, as far as his grind go, be a little bit more interesting than DK's. And okay, Vennicus picks up his token. We kind of lost track of that. We'll see if he gets through Grave to get his key items there as well. Nope. I think if he'd have done that, he would have went immediately back. Wait, did he not get the rainbow drop? Okay, so never mind. Yeah, we've seen that happen before, and what would happen is he'd have to just go all the way back to Grave to get the harp. It would suck. He would feel terrible about it, and yeah, it looks like he's just gonna take out this wizard for 1,200, 12,000 experience, and then go to Cantlin. Beta, however, looks like he is beelining directly to Sharlock. So he might be thinking about grinding in Sharlock looking for the sword. Because again, he hasn't really found... Like, I think his grind hasn't felt as good as DK's, and Vennicus was in there for a little while till he... Did he? I don't think he got the armor in there either. Wow. Oh, did he get it? I would hope so, because it was right there. And he's beelining for the harp as well. He knows that. So, we'll see. Scarletshadoww now picking up 15. He's still a little ways behind where we've seen Beta, but again, he doesn't need the sword necessarily. It might need it, but he doesn't like hard need it with the flame sword. The broadsword is a little bit worse, although with a really solid level 17, Betastrep might not need even the flame sword. And yeah, DK's had enough of that. He's leaving Garenham. Looks like he's going to walk up to Cantlin and just take some fights along the way. And hopefully get to the amount he needs there. So Vennicus does pick up the harp. He is out. He's going to get his key item trade-ins or do the grind here, one or the other momentarily. You know, betastrep is encountering all sorts of enemies along the way, and he's taking the fights. Demon Knights, 1 swing for 90 experience. I mean, that could be vanilla, honestly, the way that looked. And DK swinging on the Magic Wyvern takes it down. I don't know if he knows how lethal the Magic Wyverns are or not. You might not ever know if he can take him out in 1 hit. And then there it is. The werewolf gets us to 17. Let's see what these stats look like. Oh, 9 power. Okay. Yeah. So that makes, with the Death Necklace, this is actually reasonable DK without the sword, but I think he's still going to get it. I think you'd want to push that pretty hard. Beta grinding, he still looks like he's trying to find a good grind, and we do have short Sharlock on, which again makes it a little bit easier to get to the vanilla sword location. But it's still, you know, randomized dungeon stuff, and he was not really using a lot of MP. He's using it on the wizard because the wizard could send him home here. But there is a theoretical scenario where betastrep could not leave this Sharlock, get to 17, and win the game. And there was our information. We were wondering what sort of enemies would be in the Sharlock zones. Well, the enemies in the Sharlock zones are the Chaos replaced enemies. So that's going to be a little unpleasant. But the other thing you have to remember in these flags is that whenever you have Chaos enemies, you have the hardest run algorithm put on. So they all have the whatever their agility is their run block rate. Although it is possible that the easy Sharlock flag is on and it's only times 0.75 instead of times 1, but that only makes it a little bit nicer. It's still, you have no idea. 255 agility enemy to run from is still almost impossible to run from with you know, the 25% reduction. So it looks like Beta is not thinking about that now, especially with the enemies here. You're not going to get a good grind inside of Sharlock. That's going to be pointless. So it's all about just surviving to get to the sword. And, you know, and the sword could have a treasure guard again, which could be something really bad. But I guess we'll see here in just a little bit. And yet another wizard fight. The wizards have just been all over everything today. Probably the decent experience, so you don't feel too bad fighting them, but they're 3 to 4 swings, and they can sleep you, and then they can hurt you very badly. I think, yeah, just overall, it doesn't feel super good. Now, the difference between Beta and DK is DK is trying to do this in one go. Beta has already abandoned that. So at least it seems like it. He could... I think he was thinking about casting outside to possibly make a run at the Dragon Lord. But he doesn't have heal more. That just seems silly. There is that rare situation where it could be done without, but I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like that isn't something that you would reasonably try. Something you might try on a whim, but maybe not in a tournament race. Unless that's the memes that we were talking about before, that somebody said they were sad that Beta wasn't memeing harder in this. And the fact that DK put in his name the way he did, he's losing frames on everyone every single time the menu pops up. But it's not really hurting him too much, since he's still definitely in the pole position in this one. Takes out the wizard, gets himself a sword, and has to feel really good about, you know, about as good as you're going to feel in a chaos situation going at the Dragon Lord. That would make it more feasible, but if I recall right, the is it 50%? I think is the lock even for DL2, or maybe it's 25% for sleep. I remember sleep is tailored a little differently, and I know heal is 50%. Now, 75% DL1 is definitely possible. I know Dragon Lord 1 does not have those provisions attached to it, We've already seen one tournament race where we had a 75% DL2 breath on the Dragon Lord. And yeah, again, we might see Scarletshadoww not try for the sword, especially when you see it short Charlock. It's going to be a little bit more tempting. The fact that he already has the flame going in there in level 17, like he'll have 130 AP going into it with a lot of hit points and a lot of magic. He might just try it without it. It looks like Vennicus might be doing an early sword dive too. He is walking towards Charlock right now. And there is, oh man, betastrep, this grind, this is, it is a defense broke Axe Knight giving 135 on the spike tile, if I saw this right. 130, so he might have found the best grind in the game coming down here, which is totally a beta thing to do. Like, I don't think any of us are surprised that this happened, that he decided to go down here and try to grind on the tile next door. He could win. Like, you know, I said he was probably bailing. He might not be. This is, he may not lose any MP the entire time he is down here and be right next to the Dragon Lord when he gets heal more. But while that's happening, DK has picked up 17. He's picked up the Dragon Lord, and let's see if DL1 is anything. Oh, DL1 is a pancake, and he just got flipped. So let's see if DL2 does anything unusual. He's throwing out the stop spell right away. It does land, so unless we have a particularly high hit point Dragon Lord, this feels very safe. And so we started out with a 19, throwing the heal more. It would make sense if this enemy was just really weak. There's 33 damage after everything you have to do to get here. 47. Again, the hit points are 100 to 230 in Chaos. That is 65 damage, I believe. Yeah, he's going to get more and more doubles as this goes along. 65, that is 81 damage now. It is top 2, Apollo. That is 92 damage, and he's got another double swinging in for 15. That is 107. Any hit now could theoretically take out the Dragon Lord, and we'll know when we're close if we start seeing heal casts. Not guaranteed, but we could. That's what, 123? I might have lost track. And swing for 143. The longer this goes, and he's throwing out a heal more pretty early, but the longer this goes, the worse this is for betastrep, because, oh, there's an 11, so that's what, 154? And 171 is enough to clear, and there he goes. DK coming in first place with our race. Just has to go back. Basically, you know, the heavy grind really propelled him in here, and we're going to see this victory in just a moment. And he will be moving on to the next round, into the semifinals, which I think is where he was last year. So everything now is a race for second. And I got to say, this race looks like betastrep is in the right place for this, because the amount of damage that the Dragon Lord had, DK did, I think, 171. Betastrep should be able to do that at level 17, even though he's lost some MP. Again, assuming nothing crazy, he should be in pretty good position for this. So the diving early and sitting down here is the sort of strat that you would expect betastrep to do, and it looks like it might pay off for him. And we will have DK here in just a moment. There's our Axe Knight strats. A lot of defense, but not enough for the block beta. And 2 hits, 2 to 3 hits most of the time. And it's weak, but it's not so weak. Like, it's defense broke, but it's not in the run category. And that's the big thing. 69 AP means you would have to have, and the fact that he has 70-some defense, so it's defense broke, but it's also not where it will run. So it's the perfect enemy to see right now. Really couldn't really be hoping for more than this, I think. And on that note, I believe we have dk9146 here in the booth with us. Hello, sir, and GG.
Yeah, thanks. I wasn't sure exactly how to feel where I would be. I didn't think I got out to the strongest of starts, but I definitely knew what plays I wanted to make once I was figuring out the flags.
Yeah, it kind of bounced back and forth, and a lot of the time I think we were looking at Scarlet and Beta, kind of what they were doing, but the more dedicated grinds that you did, I think really helped to pay off, because you didn't take any real bad deaths after that.
Yeah, I was trying to find Hawksness, clearly because of the Hawksness zone, after realizing that we weren't going to have any of the good 350 enemies. So the first time that I went through Swamp, because I had seen that cave over there, I had a 50-50 chance at that being either Cantlin or Hawk. So I was like, you know what? I knew at least one town's over there. I'll try. And then that ghost wrecked my face. So I was like, well, let's go south. And that's when I found Hawks and stayed there as much as possible.
The no thanks, but thanks ghost. Like, you don't want it, but then it wound up being all right. Sometimes the game does you a favor by just killing you.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like I said, I knew exactly what I was wanting to do there. So when I went through, found Grave, I mean, clearly I'm going to clear Grave real fast, get my heart. At that point, I knew Cantlin was up there, got the cords, and ended up being on the same continent all the way back down at the bottom. I just figured out the east-west, and I was like, it's got to be near the bottom. And as you probably saw, I just searched up until I found it.
Yeah, worked out perfectly. I think you probably spent the least amount of time on the coordinates location, which definitely helped. And I know Betastrep rescued the princess, but that didn't really take that long because the princess was just right there. And speaking of that, Scarletshadoww is at level 17 and is stopping in Garenham. Going to make the walk there, but Betastrep has been grinding on this Axe Knight for 2 levels. Is in a very strong go mode right now. It just comes down to if he's able to do enough damage, if he gets enough doubles here to win this one. Which, I don't know. We counted, 171 damage, I think is what I counted for you. Does that sound right?
186.
186, okay. So as long as he gets a reasonable amount of doubles, I think he's in good condition. But he did not get the one shot on the Dragon Lord, which had to be pretty funny when you did it.
Yeah, I was like, let's see how the first Dragon Lord is. Like, all right, we're done with that.
Yeah, it also could be bad here if Beta gave up on the stop spells, which is good because, at least as far as I could tell, he had no spells. So we'll see. Again, it really is going to come down to how many doubles Beta gets, and if he doesn't get any, he's a little tight. But I think he's going to win overwhelmingly here. Vanilla Map, how did you feel about your decision, your flag picks coming into this? Did you feel pretty good about them, or are you just kind of winging it?
So I made a decision. I picked Cursed Princess off and opened Sharlock off, so that I could force requirements for the key items, and then I would kind of secretly hoping that Three's Company might be left in Tri-State, because if you roll a key item on the coordinates, Three's Company is out, and I thought maybe that would have some of my opponents waste their time.
Nice. So trying to metagame there a little bit. Unfortunately, somebody else picked Three's Company off, so that didn't work out for you. And I think somebody else picked Cursed Princess off too. That was our one flag that had the 2 no's. If you were wondering how you ended up with only 5 flag choices, it was that and 2 other players. One picked Stair Shuffle on, and the other picked Stair Shuffle off.
I was wondering if there was any conflicts of that nature. That's pretty funny that ended up being Tri-State. Unfortunately, it didn't go through, so I was kind of hoping. I did like the rotated mirror dungeons, though, just enough to throw it off a little.
Yeah, it was just a little tricky. There we go. Betastrep taking out the Dragon Lord. No real problem whatsoever. It's going to finish second in this race. once we get this return. And his path was different. He was really behind in experience for most of the race. I think it was level 10 where everyone kind of equalized for a bit. Just didn't find the grind. The grind you were doing was amazing, and the only person I saw who did anything close to that was Vennicus, who was doing it without the armor, grinding down there for a little bit. I think everybody else did a little bit of a grind, and I think that was one of the big things that kind of propelled you forward. But Beta's dive at the end at 15, grinding on the Axe Knight for 2 levels, was the big change here. That's what decided this race, I think, in his favor over Scarlet, who just died to sleep from a wizard, so maybe not.
I really had thoughts of doing an early dive, but I had no idea what to expect from enemies. All the enemies that were hitting hard were terrible outside of that wizard, which had sleep, and I really didn't want to deal with in Sherlock, so I just winged it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's not, like we were in chat, we're talking here, and I think it took us to like, you were almost to level 17 before we're like, oh yeah, wait, this is going to be a Chaos Dragon Lord too. Oh shoot. But it seemed like, having the Healmore locked to 17 does you a little bit of a favor there. So there's no like, oh shoot, can I go now? Can I go now? Sort of thought process.
Yeah, 140 HP with 15 Healmores it's almost a no-brainer on any Chaos Dragon Lord unless you get really unlucky.
Right. But so yeah, you get the victory here. Probably feel pretty good, especially getting this race. I mean, it's the first race of the week, but it's not really early in the week. What's your thoughts going into next week with the flag set there?
Oh, I love next week's flag set is fantastic. I'm super excited. Big swamp, no numbers. The troll with the what is it? The tri-stated prices on weapons that you can't see what the price is in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's what summer sale. We have summer sale tri-stated, and then the random but consistent experience on the enemies, just to make it not something you're going to be able to really figure out unless you grind for a little while and crunch the numbers, or the absence of numbers, I suppose. But on that note, Betastrep has joined us. GG, sir, and congratulations on your second place finish. How are you feeling?
I don't know. GG's DK. I feel like I would guess that the gap between us is probably because of the start for me. Like I could not find a reliable grind for like 15 minutes until I finally found the green dragon right next to start.
Yeah, that seemed to be a factor. Just we commented a minute ago that you were lagging in experience behind everybody for a while. I think when you hit level 10, everyone was at level 10, but there was some significant gaps until then. And I think that mattered, but I don't know. Like Scarletshadoww had been leading kind of everything for a while, but then DK's grind kind of shot forward, and Scarlet had a bit of an inferior grind, I think, even there at the end. But your decision to dive Sherlock seemed to be just absolutely key here into getting forward and catching up.
Yeah, due to the opening 15, I was pretty sure I was lagging behind, as you said. Just have a pretty good sense of how things are going in a seed, and when you see the vanilla rewards combined with Chaos Monsters, which is a little weird flag interaction, but yeah, I felt that at the end there, I had to go into Sherlock early and grab the sword and just hope that I had some sort of reliable grind in there so I could just sit there and utilize the position, use the herbs to stay afloat until I got heal more, and then just hope that the Dragon Lord cooperated with the Chaos rule set.
Right, and the Axe Knight was just beautiful, seeing that they're 130 a pop, and it was, 2 or 3 swings, and it ended up being in that nice area between defense broke and running, so it was just there for you the entire time, and that was probably the best grind in the game. I mean, DK was grinding in Hawksness in the desert there, which was pretty good, but I mean, by the time you got to the Axe Knight, I think Scarlet was about 1,000 experience ahead of you, and I think you ended up hitting 17 just a second before he did, or a second after he did.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I thought about grinding in Hawksness as well, but just the way I ended up routing the seed, I felt that I was about as good sitting in that hill zone in the south with Star Wyverns, Green Dragons, and Werewolves. It's essentially the same zone, so...
There was a question in chat about that because you kept seeing like scorpions and stuff. Was that just bouncing into that other zone? Was that something that you just didn't want to stress your hands out too much, like going in a really tight loop, or was it like missing the zone, or just, I don't know. We were curious about that.
Little column A, little column B. Also, trying to make sure you're in the correct area with an invisible sprite is a little bit different as well. But yeah, it's really hard to do the Dragon Warrior 2-step when you have hand pain.
Yeah, I don't really have that issue, but I almost never do it anyway, just because it's so frustrating and annoying to deal with. But
can I interrupt for a minute? I just wanted to let Beta, and GG Beta, by the way, but I wanted to let you know I was very disappointed in your name selection this week.
Yeah, I figured I'd have to take it a little bit more seriously, and I couldn't really think of a good troll name for Aaron as our commentator. I couldn't figure out what the heck I wanted to do with that, but I think I'll be able to come up with something for next week. Hopefully I can get my group to agree that we're going to all take names that aren't one character long, so the advantage is mitigated a little bit if we take longer names.
Yeah, I was kind of, I obviously did one today based on what I was just saying, but I was just like, of course we rolled normal text because I decided to do that. But shout out to my mom, it's her 74th birthday, and that's why I went with Hi Space Mom.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Yes, congratulations, DK's mom. That's a lot of years, and good job. So what we see on screen, Scarletshadoww has made it to the Dragon Lord. Vennicus is actually right behind. We think we have this lined up correctly. There might be a bit of a delay between they finish if you're someone who's peeking the race room than them, because we had an unknown delay when we started, so everyone had to kind of pause. But here we go. I think both runners are in great shape to win this, so this could come down to a bit of roll RNG. Although it looks like Scarletshadow's got at least 2 swings, maybe 3 swings advantage. So was there anything in particular about the flag choices that you made for this week, Betastrep, that you wanted to comment on, or the flag choices as a whole?
So I voted for... what the heck did I vote for? Okay, I voted to turn off random spell learning, and I also voted to turn off random searches. And my thought process behind that was I wanted to counteract the possibility that somebody might turn on Cursed Princess or Three's Company, but I didn't want to cast my vote for either of those two things. I wanted to make it a bit more painful in case those 2 flags were either voted on or were tri-stated and happened to roll on. Because if either of those were active with non-random spell learning, it would be a lot harder to cheese the seed either way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not quite as like DK picked his flags specifically to try to crush the noobs. Thought they wouldn't be able to figure out something necessarily. So you had kind of the opposite effect there. It was more defensive, I think. So that's interesting. It's always interesting to see what people think about when they pick their flag choices, if it's not just completely random or if it is, hiddenly strategic.
Well, yeah, I figured that the fastest way you could cheese a seed with the way that I was voting it would be like you'd probably have to still grind your way up to like at least level 12 to bypass the spike and swamp a second time through. So I was just trying to lengthen the seed out a bit and reduce volatility a bit. I thought DK was going to turn on Stair Shuffle or something stupid like that.
Well, somebody tried to, but somebody else voted against it. And look at this. We have simultaneous ends coming in here. This is going to be a tight one. Again, we might have a little bit of streamer volatility. But Scarletshadoww and Vennicus both going in. Scarletshadoww turned in the Princess. I don't remember if Vennicus did or not. So it's going to come down right to the wire. both of them talking to the king at the same time. And nope, we both have the Gwaylin RNG here at the end, a little delay. And yeah, we see it on the screen. They donned at the exact same time. GG's to both of them. That is an amazing end to this race. How does that even happen? Technically, it looks like Scarletshadoww might have been a couple of frames ahead, but I think this one's going to go down as a tie at 128.06.
That's absolutely amazing. I was sitting there watching it as they were going through, and I was like, "Wow, they're pretty close." But like you said, I didn't know what the stream delay would end up being. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, Scarletshadoww had 2 swings on the Dragon Lord before Vennicus got in there, and so Vennicus just had a lot more efficient Dragon Lord fight and was able to catch up on that time, pretty much on the dot. And what we saw at the end, that makes 100% sense with what we saw here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, GG Scarletshadoww, welcome in. I think we got Vennicus in as well. What do you think about the end? That's amazing.
I thought that was impressive and awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, I think.
Agreed.
It's hard to think of any other questions after that. Just the way that ended was so amazing. So I guess we maybe swing to you first, Scarletshadoww. What was your overall feelings there at the seed? Because I think the end was a little bit rough.
Yeah, the end was rough for me. I ended up dying on the wizard trying to get I think it was like a 4-turn sleep lock, trying to get the sword. But overall, I made some mistakes with the coordinates. I was measuring with the map, and I measured from Garenham instead of Tablet. So I thought I was pretty close to the right location, but I was way off. And then, of course, sat there without return and had to grind my way to it, either that or walk back. And then it was figuring out that there were no Sharlock enemies on the map at all because it was vanilla zones. And that took a while.
Well, you did. Yeah, we were wondering about that. And I think one of us, maybe, I don't know if it was me or someone in chat, mentioned that maybe you just picked the wrong location. Because again, trying to triangulate coordinates with a different map is not something you do a lot in this game. So it can be very easy to make a mistake because it's not like you practice it.
I tell you what, though, if you measure those coordinates from Garenham to where I was standing, I was right there. I was on it. But of course, I was measuring from the wrong spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Vennicus, I feel like the story of this seed for you was just not being able to get the armor kind of on the first try really just kind of slowed you down a bit. What was your thoughts like around that with the wizard? Because I think you died the first time and just didn't go back right away or for a little while.
Yeah, so with that wizard, it being super punchy and all, I wasn't really sure. And then for the heck of it, going back down into swamp to get Gwaylin, of course there's another wizard, and I realized that I was maybe like 5 points of damage away from killing the wizard the first time, because I had 3 swings on it when in Hawksness, and it's just a tale of, well, that could have gone better, I guess.
Would one of our trackers want to throw the wizard stats back up on screen? Oh, there we go. Vennicus, there was one problem with the wizard that actually made it kind of easy that I don't think that you tried, and that was the sleep spell. It had no resistance whatsoever to it.
That, probably would have been smarter, yes.
I just wanted to make sure that you realize that. It's so hard in Chaos enemies to remember that like sleep is randomized, and because you see a wizard and you don't even think about that, but it wound up being the thing. So I think that it threw off your routing a little bit, like it made you go to Cantlin. I do want to congratulate everyone. Nobody went into Tablet Cave, so GG there.
GG all on that one.
I was worried for a second that somebody might have thought something wasn't there. So good, awesome. But yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
I have a couple questions. First of all, where did everybody grind?
The green dragon's like right outside of Tantagel for the most part.
My main grind was in the Hawk Zone. Early-ish, I did the desert next to start. Once I found out there was green dragons there, I found everything but the green dragon. I had like 7 Goldman and a Dagon Draki to start.
Oh, my stats just came up. I killed 25 green dragons, so.
My end game grind was in the hill tiles in the far south by Garenham, which was essentially the same zone as Hawksness.
And what was in that zone? Because I was grinding the hills south of Tablet that had Demon Knight, Magic Wyvern, Star Wyvern, and Werewolf.
It was Green Dragons, Star Wyverns, and Werewolves, and Wizards. And I kept bouncing into adjacent zones with Scorpions and Ghosts.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was looking for a better zone than the one I found for a long time. I just never found it. I never found Green Dragons anywhere except for the desert next to start.
It took me 15 minutes to find those.
That makes me feel a little better.
I have to say I cried when I saw how much vanilla there was in the seed. Like, for random, just so much vanilla.
Second question for me. Now that we're all done, can we reveal who turned on and off what? Or has that already been done?
Now, we kind of touched that. I'll let you know. So what I did was I did select Cursed Princess off, and I selected Open Sharlock off. And my entire logic behind that was if the Threes Company was still tri-stated or even flipped on by somebody, if there's a key item on the overworld, that indicates that that Threes Company is off, and I thought somebody else might waste time trying to turn her into the Dragon Lord.
I also turned off Cursed Princess because I researched it like the night before because I hadn't seen it ever, and I did not want to deal with that. And I knew Beta would try to turn Stair Shuffle on, so I chose Stair Shuffle off.
I would never do such a thing. I hate Stair Shuffle.
So you're the one who turned Stair Shuffle off, because I'm the one who turned Stair Shuffle on, because I know Beta hates Stair Shuffle.
So I voted for the random spells to be off, and I also voted for vanilla searches to be on, and I was essentially metagaming by countering the Cursed Princess Threes Company thing being on by making it more difficult to get through.
I was 100% certain Beta would choose Stair Shuffle in either Big Swamp or Vanilla Map, but either way he got his Vanilla Map.
I decided to turn Threes Company off, so I only had one choice, which was if I see a belt grind, I take the belt grind, and if I take it, then I can keep grinding through it, because if the princess doesn't accept it, then I lose nothing. And I turned Stair Shuffle on because that's my jam. I knew Beta wouldn't like it. I knew DK was really good at identifying all the stuff for Threes Company and Cursed Princess, so I was hoping somebody would turn Cursed Princess off and would just turn this into a drag-out seed. But it turned out into even more of a drag-out seed than I anticipated or wanted.
I do love this. Scarlet throws out something specifically to spite Beta, and Vennicus blocks it specifically to spite Beta.
Thanks, Vennicus.
Yeah, no worries. I just remember a comment that you made like last year. You're like, if random percent doesn't have Stair Shuffle, you're not really doing random percent or something to that effect. So I was like, let's make sure that that isn't on.
I can do Stair Shuffle. I really can. I just don't like it, which is how I feel about a lot of the game, honestly.
I almost double voted Stair Shuffle on because I figured you might turn it off, but then I decided that Threes Company off was better for my mindset. But I love the planning back and forth for everybody. This is fun. And I really enjoyed this week's training and getting ready, practicing for the playoff seed and participating in it.
Yeah, I hope so. It was a lot of fun to watch. I think my one hope with Stair Shuffle was just because we realized that the vanilla stuff was on, and that meant that the vanilla sword was in the dungeon somewhere, in some dungeon somewhere, and you wouldn't know. So that was, and then you'd have to decide, do I try the random caves or do I try Sharlock? And that could have been fun. That could be a fun flag. But then probably if that happens, we just see people not bother.
If Stair Shuffle had rolled on, I would have just gotten a Flame Sword.
I think that's where I was at as well, if that was the case.
And I also would have gone into Mountain Cave and tried to get to the Death Necklace, assuming I could have routed to it efficiently.
I walked in there and walked out. Was the Death Necklace even on for the seed?
I did end up getting it. I got in there before I identified a few of the flags mentally, so I grabbed that in the fighter's ring. So I ended up with one, unless I Brian Williams did.
I think Vennicus found it too, which means, yeah, that'd be like 1 in 960 for that to happen if it isn't on. And I'll take the 50-50 over the 1 in 960, I think. Although it would be funny if that had happened and you both had used it and it had not worked, yeah.
Well, the chaos rule set would make it a lot less likely for anybody to risk that, especially having to walk all the way back over there.
Yep, that walk is pretty far. GG, DK, and Beta, and Vennicus, good luck to 2 of you guys next week. I'll be rooting for you both since you knocked me out.
Yeah, thanks GG's to everyone else as well. It was a good time.
And Vennicus, I can't wait to watch that back and watch us instantly finish at the exact same time. That's awesome.
Right? Like, either way, we ended third, dude. Like, we're good. We're fine.
Yeah, GG's, everybody. I do not look forward to next week's Big Swamp No Numbers. I have experience with it, and it's not particularly fun.
All right, well, we have Betastrep saying it's not fun. DK saying he's super excited for it. It's like his favorite flag set ever. So that should be good. But you guys are not in the same group next week because we've changed it up. And so, hey, you don't have to necessarily face each other 3 times to get to the finals.
It's only fun if Hawksness is the first town and we don't see a town for like 55 minutes.
I can agree with that.
Yes, and again, GG's to specifically to Scarletshadoww and Vennicus, made it into the playoffs. I think it's the first time for both of you. I know, Scarlet, you've been on the cusp and managed to get over the hump this year. So GG's on getting this far. This is the week of Winter League that this and basically all the playoffs in Winter League are designed to punish the newer players. At least that's how I see it. I mean, not really, but that's how it always seems to work out. But yeah, GG, both of you did a great run here in the tournament just to make it. I know you both had the win in week 5 to do it, and just came up a bit short today.
You know what? I'll take going from last place in last year's Winter League to playoffs anytime. So I had a blast.
I hear you. Same as well. My goal was to make the playoffs, and I did. And after that, everything was just fun. Thanks all. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to keep an eye on what happens next week for the rest. We do have a race tonight still to go. Give me just a second. I can't hold my button down when I flip over to the screen, or it won't work. Yes, we have a race tonight at 8 o'clock between Diabetes II, Tristal MTG, Fryteeth, and Dr. Mr. Holmes. Encourage you to keep an eye on that. We're not exactly sure what channel that's going to go on yet, but we'll have that knowledge to you as soon as we can. We still need volunteers, so if you're interested, feel free. You don't really need to prepare like you might think for random percent to do commentary. Just keep your head on a swivel and don't, pronounce things necessarily, or accept that you're probably going to be wrong, because I was wrong quite a bit. But I think from here we're going to send this to High Spirits, who just a second. High Spirits is doing, I believe, a casual playthrough of Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. So on behalf of our restreamer, Archfield Monk, our trackers, RG365, and R Barberloot, I have been Aaron to you too. I am still Aaron to you too. And we'll see you guys tonight. If not, we'll see you in the next race. Thank you.